Hello and welcome back to Bookish, and welcome back to my Saturday Hodgepodge, my weekly wrap-up of my reading, BookTube stuff. I didn't finish any books this week. In part, that's because one of the books is a buddy read, and because of my scheduling, we're taking that buddy read slow. Secondarily, one of the other books is relatively long, and so that's been taking me a while. And in addition to that, I found that after rereading Newpoming and Our History is the Future, that I had kind of a hangover from two books that I thought were really great, and it's taken me a while to get into reading The Heartbeat of Wounded Knee. In addition to that, I've been struggling with eye strain lately, which does make it hard for me to read, and since I already have the physical copies, I don't want to go to the Kindle, which is a solution. And I'll be reading a lot more books on the Kindle next month. But I am buddy reading The Yield with Britta Bowler. We are 2/3 of the way through. We're taking it in 100-page blocks and then sharing messages. We've been enjoying that discussion, and I will say, I don't know if I mentioned this last week or not, I liked the book the first 100 pages. I like it much more the second 100 pages. And so that means, you know, I'll be leaving it up to that last 100 pages to kind of bring it home to see if it ends well, which, you know, the tag I did on Wednesday, if I remember correctly, was good books with bad endings. I don't think there's anything that's going to move me away from the idea that The Yield is a good book, because there's too much about it that I really like and admire. But I do think there are some plot elements and character elements I want to see ended well. The Heartbeat of Wounded Knee is a history essentially of Native Americans and their struggle with the United States government since the massacre at Wounded Knee took place in 1890. If that sounds like it covers a lot of the same material as Our History is the Future by Nick Estes, it does, but it does cover it from a different point of view, which has been really fascinating. And this is by far the more detailed history. It might be slightly less, well, it's less political than Nick Estes' history in its outlook, but I am enjoying that. I've gotten into that, and I am going to start today reading The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones, so that I can get through with all the books that I chose for my First Nations reading month this month, and I am looking forward to this because it will in some ways be a break from the other reading. One of the things that this won't surprise you, one of the things that this First Nations reading I've been doing this month has really brought home to me is how many connections there are between the ways in which European colonial settlers treated First Nations populations that they came in contact with in the United States and in Canada and Australia. It is a consistently tragic story, and that story comes through whether it's nonfiction or fiction or memoir. That has really resonated with me, and one of the things that I've enjoyed most about reading just First Nations authors this month. For whatever reason, I decided to do that, and I did. Next month will be different, but I am looking forward to finishing these 3 books, which I think I should be able to do this week. If you haven't read The Yield, it reads really quickly, I think, because it is really engrossing. So the only other thing that's happened that's been going on this week is I did finish my first kind of read-through edit of the book I've been writing, and now I'm going to go through and put in all the endnotes, which will be a nice tedious process. Get all that done, and then read through it again, and then I will send it out to people who've been kind enough to say they would read it and give me their thoughts for me. So that's been going well. I'm happy with my progress. You know, others might decide my progress has been too slow, but I'm pretty happy with my progress. I sent a copy of the manuscript as it is right now to my dad, and you know, I'm kind of writing it for my dad because it in part involves his favorite uncle, and so I was happy to be able to get something out to him which was complete, which I thought at least, you know, he could read and appreciate. That's been kind of one of my priorities, even though I haven't always stuck to the writing as diligently as I should have. But anyway, that's been going well. I think, oh, this is what I was going to say. Yeah, just rambling, I guess you can tell. One of the things that I was going to say about shout-outs went from a channel like that's about the size of mine is, I worry sometimes when I shout out channels that a lot of my subscribers, a lot of the people I'm trying to draw attention to these channels to, are channels around my size, or channels a little bit bigger, or maybe channels just a little bit smaller. And I will say, one of the things that happens to you the longer you're on BookTube and the more subscribers you get and the more commenters you get, is you end up subscribing to more channels. And I realize people can find an overload there in the number of channels they're subscribed to. But I know that can be a problem. But you know, go check out the channels I shouted out last week, which were Pete's Pensive and ellethinks. At least go check out those 2 channels, and you might also check out Daniel over at GuiltyFeat. He shouted out 2 channels which are relatively small still in his video. I can't remember the title of it, but I'll put a link to it down below. Go check out those channels, and if you can, you know, support some of these smaller channels so that they can grow and encourage them to keep making videos. Anyway, there you go. Ramble over. I look forward to your comments in the comment section below, and as always, thank you for watching.